Alright, I wanted to do a video on my monster stove that I mentioned in my last video. This is a two-part stove. Since I have it set up in this manner right now, I'll show you this one first. In this manner, it works with a large pot and pot stand. The pot stand completely covers it. I'll scoot it over in the center of the frame here. And you simply fill it up with fuel. And it does take quite a bit of fuel to fill it up because it is a 3-inch, maybe not quite 3 inches. So that's one puff, and we still don't have it full. And starting to see, actually, let me take this off here. I think I have a leak. I do, I have a leak. Let me fix that and I'll get right back to you. It seems I'm not too tight enough down here and on the bottom. Be right back. Alright, so I didn't even have it tight. Don't know why I didn't have it tight, but I tightened it up. And I'm going to finish filling this. And I just wait until I see the whole disc start to glisten. And once the whole disc is glistening, this one's actually not in there. Oh, there we go. Looks like the whole thing's glistening. It's kind of interesting how this carbon felt works. You can lay one piece of carbon felt directly on top of another piece of carbon felt, and it just becomes part of that wick, just by being in its presence, like on top of it. So that's kind of cool. So what I will do sometimes is I will fill it up depending on how much, like if I'm planning on doing a lot of cooking, I can fill it up, release the pressure, and close it back in. There's a lot of fuel in there if I want to cook a lot of water. So I'm going to move these two out of the way. I'll show you those in a second here. And put this one on. Do I have two cups in there? I do. And fire this off. Oh, we're already recording. I was getting ready to push the record button. I didn't realize we were recording that whole time. I need to light it though. Can't do anything without lighting it. This thing has got to be replaced. Just never sparks. So she's lit, and you can see that there's still a little orange glowing around the edge. Might be because I don't have it all the way full there, I don't know. So when it's all the way full, usually the orange glows will go away. But maybe there's just a few fuzzes on the edge. So that right there is a pretty huge flame, and requires a pretty good sized pot. This is one of the bigger pots I have as far as the circumference of the base. I've also done it with my Boy Scout pot. This one doesn't. This one actually covers around the edges a little bit because it's just such a large flame on this monster cup. So what I did to make this, and I don't have any extra monster cups laying around to show you how I made it, but let me see if I can find my other monster stove that I made previously. And I can give you a little demonstration from that. Let's see, what can I point with here besides my big old finger? I then JB welded this aluminum pipe onto the can, and then drilled out the center of the lid on the can so that it would fit, so I could put felt down inside that aluminum pipe. The very bottom of this is just a washer, metal washer, and the bottom of it is sealed with JB Weld. So we'll see how well that holds. That's JB welded on the bottom. The top of the can fits into the cap of the can with a piece of plastic, blue plastic ring, and that's all that holds it together. Oh, we have a boil. And that's 14.29 on the camera. I'm not sure what that total's out to be. We'll have to see what it started at. Alright, so anyways, I didn't find that anywhere, so I'll just have to show you on this once I blow it out. And I haven't even refueled it yet. You can see that burns for a long time on one filling because there's a lot of alcohol in there. But as hot as that is, this is the important part. As hot as that gets, ooh, don't grab hot pot with hand. As hot as that gets, one of the neatest things about this carbon felt is it is cool to the touch immediately when it shuts off. And the aluminum around it, generally, because the flame was up here, not down here, is cool to the touch also. Which is why this is so unique, because now I can take the top of this can out, and I need to remove the piece of felt that sits inside of here, on the side of the can, and fit it down inside there. And let me show you before I put that piece of felt in there what I have. I'm going to tip it up a little bit. This is actually the cap of a Monster can, and it screws on tightly. Because of that blue ring inside there, there's a perfect seal in here where it can't leak. That's how they sell the drink in the first place. That blue ring is all that keeps it from leaking. So I can unseal it. I did cut a hole in there. I don't know if you can see down in there. I cut a hole in there where I could stuff my felt down through the tubing here. I JB welded this on here, and that seems to be holding. Got a little JB weld in the bottom of the washer, and JB welded this on. This is actually, I drilled that and tapped it with a tap and die. Tap, die, I don't know which one's which. And tightened it in. That's why it was leaking at first, because I didn't tighten it all the way. There is a washer on there. Those are both from Tinny at Mini Bull Design, that nozzle, nipple, washer, hose. I think even the bottle might be from him. I'm not positive on that one, though. So what I have here is I have, in the top, I have of the can, which I just trimmed off the bottom of the can, took it all off. I have, upside down, a ball of felt that way, like that. It lays in there. That then lays on top of this ring, on top of that center thing. And when you squeeze it down on there, those almost become one as far as felt is concerned. Once they're touching, they wick off each other. So that little round piece I put up on top, now it goes right in there, and that makes my miniature stove. This is done for right now. I set it aside. I'm thinking about getting another lid for this, a spare lid, to put on here and seal that off. And then, I've got to find it. I think, no, I had tested this was one of my plastic lids. Maybe it was it was not this one. I think it was this lid I tested it with. This Pringles lid. It wasn't that one either. I had a lid that was fitting it perfectly. It's a snap-on lid. I'll have to find that for you guys. I don't know where it went. That's a Lay's Stacks. That does fit with a lip guard on a Heineken can. That does fit on there pretty doggone good to hold. Well, it fits too good if you don't open it up. That does fit on there pretty good. So that's a good way to store stuff in your Heineken cans if you still have any of those around. But I had a lid on here, and I thought about going out and getting another can to seal this off. That way this would hold all the alcohol inside there tight and wouldn't have to be burned all off. Because there is still alcohol in here. It doesn't drip, but it's in there. Alright, put that aside, and I'll show you how this one works without... You don't need the big thing for this, you just need the small one for this. This would be for cooking on a Heineken or Foster's pot. And you can see there's still fluid in there from before, but again, we can fill it up right until it glistens and you let go. And that works a lot like one of Tinny's M stoves. As I've made a joke in the past, D stove, because I'm digitizer. So, anyways. Now that, I imagine, will take... Oh, yeah, there's only 1 cup of water in here. I don't have 2 cups of water in here right now. I poured it from here into there, so that's why I filled that up. So that would, I'm not going to time this right now, but you can see the flame is a pretty decent flame. It's actually a little better flame than my bongo does. It's a little bigger flame. Generally my bongo's sitting up about that high, so maybe another ring on this, I'm not sure. With alcohol you want to have that extra ring. So anyways, that's my 2-part stove. I'm not going to do this test right here because there's no reason to do it. It's my 2-part stove. The hot, I touched it again right after I burned myself. Real smart, right? This cools down really quick. Those do not cool down really quick. So that's my two-part stove. Part A, then you pull out this ring. You simply screw this back in here. And after you screw it in, you need to put that ring back around that. Fits right back down in there. And then this, well, gets bunched up in here like this. So I created a folded over piece down inside the cavity right there. And then I take a round donut type one that fits in the top of here. And I pinch it down on top there. And that's that. And that will actually wick the fuel from the bottom one up. The flame must pull it up. I'm not exactly sure how it wicks it up, but it does a really good job of wicking it up. And this is a pretty sturdy stove. I got a pretty full hose here, and it moves a little bit, but doesn't tip it over. I am going to start switching to a heavier stove. I know everybody's thinking about lightweight. This little bitty weight on the end of here is not that great. I'd rather have a little thicker. And in my ISO stove that I built the other day, I did put a real thick weight on there. I like to call this my ISO Buffalo. That's my ISO stove. And I think we did a video on that just the other day. This is ISO/alcohol. I've used it for both things, and it works really well on both. The only thing is I need to get a little higher for the alcohol. It burns still, but a little higher I think would be better. So that's my ISO alcohol stove with the 1.5 to 2 feet of hose on it. I don't know why I have so much hose on that. Anyways, just my next... I'm going to do one more video tonight of this thing. Get back to that in a minute.